Of course, to be a part of a process that acknowledges the real heroes of Bengaluru. Nijavada Nayakaranna gurtsuvanತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, and it is really a privilege to be a part of it. Well, now after all the award categories that, ladies and gentlemen, we've been watching, comes an extra special moment. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವರ್ಗದಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಅವರವರ ವಿಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರವರ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಪಮ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ನಾಗರಿಕರನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. And now is the pinnacle of the award, we could say. The Namma Bengaluru Awards this year has featured 36 inspiring stories of so-called ordinary people who are doing extraordinary work. And zeroing in on one individual who has overcome unimaginable barriers and has offered the city a precious wave of change, as you can imagine, is no easy task. And yet, one individual among all the 36 who we met this evening on stage, there is one individual whose contribution stands even apart. And it is time for us to present to you the Namma Bengalurean of the Year, for which I request Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament and Founder Trustee of the Namma Bengaluru Foundation, who initiated in fact the Namma Bengaluru Awards in 2009, to share the dais with the chief guest to applaud the work of this extraordinary individual. Rajya Sabha Sadasyaradantaha Shri Rajiv Chandrasekhar avarige swagata. And without further ado, may we now watch a film that captures it all for us.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up.
Namma Bengalurean of the Year.
And the winner is
Dr. V Ramachandra. Dr. T V Ramachandra. Holding a doctorate in Ecology and Energy from Indian Institute of Science, Dr. T V Ramachandra has contributed to the rejuvenation of several lakes in Bengaluru.
Jakkur ಕೆರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ Bioremediation ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿ ಕೆರೆಯ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗಾಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಟಿ ವಿ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಅಹೋರಾತ್ರಿ ಶ್ರಮಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪಶ್ಚಿಮ ಘಟ್ಟದ ಅಪರೂಪದ 45 ವಿವಿಧ ಪ್ರಭೇದ ಮರಗಳನ್ನು ಜಕ್ಕೂರು ಕೆರೆ ಆವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಟ್ಟು ಕಿರು ಅರಣ್ಯ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಶಸ್ಸು ಕಂಡಿರುವ ಇವರು ಅಂತರ್ಜಲಾಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೂ ಕಾರಣೀಭೂತರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
He has published over 252 research papers in reputed peer-reviewed international and national journals, 50 book chapters, 242 research papers in the international and national symposiums, as well as 16 books. In addition, he has delivered a number of plenary lectures at national and international conferences. Publication, Milking Diatoms for Energy, is a seminal work in biofuel research, evident from reports in Scientific American, BBC, national dailies, etc. Let's all give a standing ovation to this Namma Bengalurean of the Year. The Namma Bengalurean of the Year, Dr. T V Ramachandra, truly the game changer. Vignani, Shri T V Ramachandra avaru, Namma Bengalurigaru, ಈ ವರ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಪುರಸ್ಕೃತರು. And I invite you, Dr. V Ramachandra, to say a few words.
In fact, most of you would have seen my work either in the print or the electronic media. You know, I had raised various issues, the questions about various projects like Ethinode, Tadadi project and the Bangalore. You know, when I raised about Ethinode project, I questioned about the water that is available there. It's a 24 TMC, the government report says. When I did the quantification, it was only 9.5 TMC. I wrote an article, where is 24 TMC? When I see the other countries, when a scientist brings out the anomaly, normally the government of the day will invite the scientist for brainstorming session or a discussion. But in my case, what happened was an advertisement against me, asking who I am. In fact, why I did this work, I don't belong to either Netravati BSN or Kolar. Now today, by this award, I have been branded as a Bengalurean. I would like to share some of my moments when I spent a lot of time in Western Ghats, but some time in Bangalore. You know, once what happened, Koramangala Association residents met me. They said there is some anomaly in the Belandur Agaram wetland. They wanted a scientific report. We took a risk. We did the report. And it is because of the NGOs like Namma Bengalurean Foundation, you know, that work was successful in getting whoever did committed the mistake or penalized to the tune of 140 crores. Then they appealed and then it became 119 or 120 kind of thing. You know, one of the things what happened at that time was I was receiving a lot of phone calls, very affectionate phone calls. You know, one of the gentlemen calls me and he asked me, do you want to see the sun? I was equally mischievous. I told the gentleman, what are you talking about? Are you saying SUN or SON? Then if it is SUN, I am a scientist. I am going to tell you that tomorrow is going to be a cloudy day. Neither you will see the sun, nor I will see the sun. The message I gave is, I don't worry about you. Without fear, I do my work. Do your son. As long as you people commit the thing and deny our children of the natural resources, I am going to question that. That was the message I gave to them. And today, if you look at the Bangalore is facing severe water crisis. You know, our children are drinking the contaminated water because our lakes are polluted, and 40% of the Bengalurean depends on the groundwater for the drinking, and lakes is contaminated because of the groundwater is contaminated. Our study shows that there are nitrates in this water, and people grow the vegetable in the downstream of the lake, and the sample analysis shows that it has got a higher amount of copper, cadmium, chromium, etc. In fact, just now we saw the doctor being felicitated, you know, oncology is one. Naturally, these are all the ingredients. If you get into the food chain, people will tend to have the cancer or the kidney failure. Now, when you look at the number of kidney failures in the city, it's really worrying for any sensible citizen. Earlier it was 1 in 1 lakh, today it is 1 in 5,000. Dialysis units have become a limiting factor. You know, let us give our children clean water, clean air. That is what Article 21 of the Indian Constitution assures us. But today, we have been deprived of the clean air or water in the name of development. My question is, development at what cost? If you are denying us a clean water, then I don't want that so-called development. Now, when I talk about the system, I always give the alternate models. See, when you look at the Bangalore receives about 750 to 850 millimeter of rainfall. If I quantify the water that is available in 740 square kilometer, it comes to about 15 TMC. how much water Bengalurean requires for the domestic purposes is about 18 to 20 TMC. That means about 70% of our requirement of the water, I can get it through the harvesting of rainwater. To harvest the rainwater, there are two options. Either by rooftop harvesting. When you do rooftop harvesting, the family's requirement is met. But when you do it through the lakes, the groundwater gets recharged. That the community gets a benefit. This is what Bengalurean has to understand. If we want water for our children, we need to make sure our lakes are rejuvenated and lakes are not polluted. And see, if we are consuming 18 to 20 TMC of water, if I treat that water, today there is a technology, we can treat it. We have shown it at Jakkur Lake. Then we have another 16 TMC. That means 15 TMC plus 16 TMC, which is 31 TMC. We have surplus situation. The root cause of the crisis today is the mismanagement. We need to question the system of this mismanagement. That is where we need a sensible leaders. Sometime I have watched carefully Rajiv Chandrasekhar's the attempt to cleanse the system. I'm quite happy. Now, today I have come. I normally don't accept this kind of invitation. When Sridhar told me you have to come, I said as an academician, I don't like to waste my 2 hours of time spending in the Putana Chetty hall. Then he said, no, you have to speak. So intelligently he brought me. He knew that as a teacher I would like to talk to the people. So that's how I landed here. In fact, this is a historical place. Those who know that this hall was constructed in 1935. The president of municipality was instrumental in that. That's why it's aptly named as the Puttanachetty Hall. And also people will be shocked if I tell you the one more thing. There was a lake in this region. I got an award here in this historical hall. The same hall had a water here. So, the fort was the boundary for the thing, Peta. Peta was the region where people resided, and that was the township. And this is the part where the water was there. So that is the kind of the thing. And coming back to this rainwater harvesting, Bangalore topography allowed the interconnected lake systems. Our elders had created 1,400 or 1,500 water bodies in 740 square kilometer of Bangalore area. And the storage capacity of those water bodies was 35 TMC. Look at the vision of the earlier rulers. For storing 15 TMC of water, they had created a system which is 35 TMC, even to address the flooding problem. Today's leaders, what do? They swallow this water body. They swallow the land. Today, my city is handled by 3 mafias. I have no fear in calling the mafias the land, water and waste mafia. As long as this mafia rules the region, we'll have the problem of water, garbage and also the land grabbing. So as a youngsters and sensible citizen, I think we have to raise the voice. I think we need to do that. The another thing which is happening, is really worrying the way the urbanization is happening. Irresponsible, unplanned urbanization. In fact, I had a discussion with Ravichandra quite often about that. Last 4 decades, 1005% increase in the concrete area. We have lost 88% of tree cover and 79% of water bodies. So when I look at the number of trees in the city, I have 14 lakh trees for 95 lakh people. That means 7% 1 tree. What is the number of trees people require just to remove the respiratory carbon? We need to have at least 8 trees per person. We don't even have that. Bengalureans don't have oxygen. That's why some of the oxygen bars have come up. We don't have clean water. That's where I wrote an article saying that Bangalore is going to die. 2020, if this trend continues, 95% of my city's landscape is covered with the concrete buildings. That is not a development, gentlemen and ladies. Please understand that our children need water and air also, and elders require the park. If everything is removed, only the senseless human beings are going to be there, and sensible people will not live in the city. That's why I wrote an article saying that Bangalore is going to die. The dead city that received a lot of attention from the outside. You know, people called me, I had a panel discussion on TV with the outside, you know, the electronic media from Stockholm, Canada and all. But no bureaucrat from Bangalore had called me. There's a building, stone building, there are people with a stone-headed, people are sitting there, they never looked at this thing. They do the planning without even looking at the scientific output. What kind of decision making that is happening in the city? Now I end my, this one, why I want to bring to the attention of everyone. You know, we are talking about development. We want everything to happen. This one issue I want to raise because I want our MP to take it forward and stop that project. That is Tadadi Port. You know, that region, there are 5,000 families are getting their livelihood, you know, to the extent of about the 15 lakh rupees per hectare in the form of fish, then the sand, salt, bivalves, etc. Such a region, people are going to kill and construct the port and deprive that 5,000 people homeless. That is the place I work. I am from Western Ghats. The blood boils when I look at these kinds of things happening. Then people want to get a water from Western Ghats in the name of supplying water to the Bangalore, Kola. There is enough water in Bangalore. You know, okay, let them get the water. At least let them do the calculation properly. You know, 24 TMC, they show it as in the report, where it's only 9.85 TMC. Out of 9.85 TMC, 6 TMC is required for the local people for their agriculture, horticulture. Another 2.8 TMC is required for the fish, etc. We are left with only 0.85 TMC. To transfer 0.85 TMC, spending 13,000 crore is not justifiable. If I spend even 20% of that, I can rejuvenate the lakes everywhere. If you look at the silt accumulated in Belandur and Vattur lakes, we did a quantification. Mr. Sridhar was with us. You know, the quantity that is available is about 7 million cubic meter. The value is about the 1,500 crore. If I look at the nutrient that is there in that, the silt, if I look at nitrogen, it can fertilize the soil in Punjab. If I consider phosphorus, it can fertilize the soil in Uttar Pradesh. And if I consider potash, it can fertilize the soil of Telangana. If I look at from economical angle, the value is worth 15,000 crores. The silt is in this lake. So if I take out that, I can rejuvenate all lakes in Bangalore. I don't have to be at the mercy of all these bureaucrats and senseless politicians. So thank you for giving me an opportunity. I have come here with a hope. I am sure many sensible people in the audience will take this message forward. So I thank you all. And I have got an envelope here. I don't know what is there in this envelope. Whatever is there in this envelope, I am going to use it for setting up the water testing labs in the world setting. You know, that was my vision. That is what I was trying to do for the last 3 years. I was talking to the many people. There's a famous joke called CSR grant. None of these industries have come forward. Now finally, with this money, I think there is a check. I can see that. I will, at least in 2 schools, I will start it. Then that might act as a catalyst. So many more schools might have the water testing lab. If the children know what is the water they are drinking, I don't have to do much more. They will ensure the lakes are protected. That's what I want that to happen. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, when we talk about water quality and all, people become oversensitive. The water that is in the tap, you can drink it only you might see the pathogens or fecal bacteria. You just boil it and have it. But today's mother become more sensitive. They give the water bottle, you know, multinational bottles. When you drink that water, you know, there is an exchange of plastic with the water, with the change in temperature, there are dioxin. That means we are giving the kids the dioxin, which is a carcinogen. This is what the mothers of today have to understand. Make sure, for heaven's sake, don't give your child the bottled water at a very young age. The day when the child consumes 1,000 bottles, the cancer is certain. Don't make the doctors in the cities the prosperous. Let us lead a happy life. Thank you all for listening. I have taken slightly more because I wanted to give the message to everyone. Thank you.
ಒಬ್ಬ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕ ಈ ವರ್ಷದ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯಂಥ ವಿಷಯ. What a fitting tribute, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it, to have a teacher, scientist in the city of science as a winner of the Namma Bengalurean of the Year. A rousing applause once again to Dr. Ramachandra. Truly the game changer. Outspoken, full of spunk.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟಿಗಳು, ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದ ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರದೀಪ್ ಅವರೇ, ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಇತರ 18 ಜನ ಸದಸ್ಯರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ತಾರಾ ಅವರೇ, ಶ್ರೀಧರ್ ಅವರೇ, ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ವಸಂತಿ ಅವರೇ, ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾವಂತ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರೇ ಮತ್ತು ಮಹಿಳೆಯರೇ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾವಂತ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರೇ ಮತ್ತು ಮಹಿಳೆಯರೇ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾವಂತ ನಾಗರಿಕ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸದಿಂದ ಈ ಮಾತನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 2009ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆಯಾದಂಥ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ 7 ವರ್ಷಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 75 ಜನರ ಪ್ರತಿಭೆಯನ್ನು, ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಲಾರದವರನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಅನಾಮಧೇಯರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು 70 ಜನ ಹೀರೋಗಳೆಂದರೆ ಅಂಥ ಸಾಧಕರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ. 2,54,000 ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾಮನಿರ್ದೇಶನ ಪತ್ರಗಳು ಬಂದಿವೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮಹತ್ವವಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಶ್ರೀಮಾನ್ ಸಜ್ಜನ್ ಪೋಯನವರು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷನ ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ನಾಗರಿಕ ಆದ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಗೂ ನಾವು ಹೋಗೊಡಬೇಕು, ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ವಿಜೇತರಿಗೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನನಗನ್ಸಿದ್ದೇನೆಂದರೆ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಈ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಭಾಳ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವಿನಯದಿಂದ ತಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮಚಂದ್ರ ಅವರು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಯನ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಯನ್ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಹೀರೋ. ಇತರ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಪಡೆದವರು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಸಮಿತಿ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ತೂಕಬದ್ಧವಾದ, ನ್ಯಾಯಬದ್ಧವಾದ, ಯೋಗ್ಯತೆಯ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಎಂಬುದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಜೂರಿ ಸಮಿತಿಯವರು ನಾನು ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ವಿಷಯ, ಬಹಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕೆಲಸ. ನಾನೆಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಹತೆ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹುಶಃ ಯಾವ ಲಾಬಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಶಿಫಾರಸಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಜೂರಿಯವರು, ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಸಮಿತಿಯವರು 6 ಹಂತಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡುವ ಪ್ರಾಸ್ತಾವಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಅನೇಕ ಸಾರಿ ಈ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಸಮಿತಿಗೆ ಸವಾಲಾಯಿತು ಯಾರನ್ನ ಆಯ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ. ಅಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳು, ನಾವು ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳು ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅನೇಕ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಚಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆಗಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅನೇಕ